being an influencer is hard. I'm just going to have to go with disagree.
Yes and no. I actually think influencers or people on social media are going to get taken over by AI.
See, that just scares me.
I always used to say this when I was on Peanuts when I was working for my dad with people like, are you rich or anything? And I would always go, I'm rich in happiness.
This is definitely like the burnt toast theory. What?
Oh, the burnt toast theory?
Yeah.
What's your biggest deal you've got?
I'm not saying that on here.
Wherever try people, I'm out there for the people trying to get you the tea from Jessie. Welcome back to Agree to Disagree, the podcast hosted by two people who are very, very in love. My beautiful girlfriend, Jessie Wynter, and myself, Will Young, where you'll find out how we agree to disagree to make our relationship work.
Today, I genuinely thought we weren't going to make it to the podcast.
Oh, we had a nightmare.
We had a nightmare.
Yeah, we had an absolute nightmare. So this rarely happens. Me and Jessie aren't very prompt when we're going out. It's mayhem.
We are always running late. We are at least 5-10 minutes late.
It's mayhem. And I don't want to throw Jessie under the bus here, but I'm going to say it's because of her.
Okay, sorry. Today, I said we've got 15 minutes.
I was
and then
ready.
You said you hadn't showered.
Yeah, but I got ready in that 15 minutes.
You did, but like if you were ready earlier, we would have been there. And I can actually get the proof on my phone. I was texting you.
Yeah,
the last text message I sent to Will was the train time, and I said 30 minutes.
But you're not telling everyone. I was ready before you.
No, you weren't. I was ready, Will.
Okay.
I wore my hair up today. It was easy.
Okay, but
agree to disagree on that.
We're getting away from what actually happened. So we had a disaster. We drive to the train station every time, and we all drive in there, and we always buy our tickets in the car. And the bloody trains were cancelled. They were cancelled. So do you know what we did? We had a really heated argument because I was like to Jessie, chill.
Yeah, because you were like in my face. So
I wasn't even in Jessie's face. I was driving.
In my face.
I was not in Jessie's face. I was driving.
All right. So we were driving, and I always screenshot the train times the night before in bed. So at 12:48 a.m., I'd screenshot the train time.
Yep.
And then I had it on my phone from the night before. Then I refreshed the page, and it said that the train was cancelled. So we were at an intersection, and then Will needed to know which side to go.
I was like, do we go right or do we go left?
And I was like, just give me a second, I don't know. And he kept going, right or left, right or left. And I was like, trying to do this. And I was like, we'll just stop.
We're at a T-junction, people. We are at a T-junction. I've got cars behind me. I need to pull out. I can't just sit there and wait for a decision. But then we turned left. I ended up pulling over, and we tried a few different stops one stop which was an hour away, one which was 20 minutes. We took the 20 minutes, but we got there with like 40 minutes to spare. So we had loads of time.
So we just waited, chilled about for 40 minutes, had a coffee, had a sandwich, and then that train got cancelled. Today, we actually had to get here for a specific time because we only had a small time slot. So if we didn't get here on time, we would have missed out on filming this podcast. So we were stressing. We never leave early. We actually decided we were going to come into the podcast studio an hour early. We were going to do our little cue cards, have a leisurely, quiet, calm morning.
And it wasn't.
But then it just turned into absolute chaos.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But I was thinking about this. This is definitely like the burnt toast theory. More.
The burnt toast theory.
Yeah, because at first I was like getting...
No, you need to explain to me what is this burnt toast theory?
The burnt toast theory?
Let me guess it. The burnt toast theory, is it something to do and if you don't pop it up, then it burns? Wow, that's not logical.
The burnt toast theory is in the morning, say you get up and you're getting ready for work and you put your toast in the toaster.
Right.
And then your toast burns.
Yeah.
You go to get it out and you're like, oh my God, my toast is burnt. So you chuck it out and then go
I didn't chuck it out.
Stop ruining my story.
Can I just say, if anyone gets burnt toast over the sink, knife, scrape the burntness off. That's a little foodie hack for you all.
Okay, well, you get your burnt toast out and then you take it over the bin to scrape it off, or you put it in the bin, you go get your another toast. The time that you took to manage your burnt toast, that avoided something, or that time made something flow in your day. So this is kind of like the burnt toast theory. If our morning didn't get ruined as such, or if we didn't have all these trials and tribulations this morning, we didn't drive, it wouldn't have led us to whatever happened.
And what did happen is I have to pay you, Les. We have to pay something fucking else. We have to pay for the fuel. So what the burnt toast has done is cost us money. It's actually what has happened.
But we might have missed something where we could have have you seen Benjamin Button where he stops to tie his shoelace?
Benjamin Button is the dude that gets older. No, it starts off really old and then gets younger as he goes on.
Yeah, you know when he stops to tie his shoelace and then the woman walks across the road and pretty much what I'm saying is if you delay something or something happens, you just weren't supposed to be in that place. We weren't supposed to be on that train today.
Is that good or bad, or doesn't?
Well, I like to think of it in a good way because I was stressed and oh my God, nothing went to plan. But I'm no, burnt toast theory. I was meant to get here this way today. I avoided something.
I might be thinking burnt toast theory. If I got on that train, I could have found a box full of money. And I haven't.
We weren't supposed to find that because you're supposed to earn your own money some other way. A box of money.
That would be fucking nice, wouldn't it?
If you found a box of money on the train, would you hand it in?
Nope. Oh, nor would you.
I would be scared. I'd feel like someone's coming to hunt me down.
Oh my God. No one listening or watching either. Come on. If you see a big chunk of money, that is going straight in the pocket.
Put in the comments what you guys think. Would you steal the money? Was it stealing if you find it?
Finders keepers, losers weepers. That's what I think anyway.
You know, I used to work in a nightclub, and when people would hand cash over to the counter, obviously no one's going to come and reclaim their cash.
Steal it?
No, I didn't get to keep it, but it just goes into a thing for all the staff.
Tips?
Yeah, tips.
Smart.
Yeah, it's
I would pocket that shit, I'm not going to lie. I would go, right, that's a tip for me. They've obviously left me with the money.
Yeah, when I worked in a nightclub and you would clean up, obviously we couldn't keep the money, but the amount of money that would be found, when everybody leaves on the floor, the amount of weird things that you would find, actually, you would just find the wackest stuff.
Like what?
Literally full, T-shirts, outfits, decks of cards, just shoes.
What's the weirdest shit? I know there was a club in mine. I don't know if I can even say this, but I went to a club and there was actually this guy getting wanked off. It was really fucking weird. We all walked in. I don't know why the security didn't kick them out or anything.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Just in the corner?
Yeah, just in the booth. Just this dude just getting wanked off. We were all and this was pretty early on in the night.
The thing was out.
And the thing wasn't out, but it was the unbuttoned trousers and the hand gestures were being made.
Why wouldn't you just go home and do that?
No, he wasn't wanking. He was getting wanked off.
Yeah, I know, but why wouldn't they just go home?
Right.
Yeah, I used to work in a nightclub and it made me not want to drink. Really? But it wasn't that bad of a nightclub because it was more like a bar-ish. It wasn't a rave club or anything. It was a coffee shop and then a pizza shop. And then at night it was a bit irritating. In night it turned into a bar, then a fucking club.
Yeah. Well, I know one theory. I think this is a theory, which is the red and blue pill theory.
Oh.
Do you know that?
Where if you take the one pill, something happens. Explain it to me. I don't think I know it.
No. Okay, everyone just ignore me. It's not. It's not the. Maybe it is red and blue pill or the sliding doors. If you do one thing differently in your life, it changes how your whole life turns out. Sliding doors, I think it is. So, for example, if we didn't go on Love Island, we would have never have met, and we would be in completely different eras of our life.
We would be so different. Do you know, I always think about this because when I went on Love Island Australia, how much my life actually changed.
Yeah.
And I always think I could still just be at my hometown working in a bar still or working at the bank.
Honestly.
If I didn't quit working at the bank when I was however old, I would have never had to find different jobs. I wouldn't have went on reality TV. I would not be living this life.
I find this. So at school, I wasn't the best at school and I actually dropped out in sixth form. And I dropped out and didn't really know what to do. So I kind of turned to my dad because obviously we had the farm. Was I think I want a farm, but I wasn't 100% sure sort of thing. And I was just if I maybe just stayed in school and didn't come back farming, I could have gone to university and my life just would not have planned out how it's planned out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. There's another theory as well. Oh my God, I feel there's a theory for everything.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I am so gullible too. You know, someone could just tell me something's a theory and I'm oh yeah, that makes sense.
Go on, give me your theories because I don't know.
There's this string theory.
Okay.
So the invisible string theory is that you are bound to somebody with an invisible string.
Me and you.
So I hope so. I hope so.
How many strings can you have attached to you?
Well, hopefully one.
No, I mean, can you have strings attached to your family?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in a romantic way.
Yeah.
But we use romantic way in a for the example anyways. So the invisible string is that you and someone else have an invisible string attached to you. So your whole life, even though you've not actually like met in person, you might have crossed paths or seen each other and there was an invisible string keeping you bound together.
That's deep.
Yeah, have you seen that? And
No.
then, so it's like when you kind of like meet someone, like for example, did you know me and Will had actually seen each other's TikToks, but we didn't know it was us?
Yeah, I
Will had
remember.
liked my TikToks.
Hell yeah, I did.
When we got out of the villa, I showed him my TikTok page. He's like, I've seen this.
That
I
went
was like-
hella viral.
What?
I said that went hella viral.
And then I saw your TikToks as well, but I didn't know. But when we stalked each other and scrolled back through.
That's meant to be, baby. That is meant to be.
Like we'd seen each other and we didn't even know. That is crazy.
That is really, really random, isn't it?
I know. Maybe it could have been the invisible string.
Maybe. So we've been seeing on our TikTok a lot about is influencing hard? And we're going to dive into that today and give you kind of like our opinions, what we think about it. So what do you think? Do you think influencing is hard?
Just to be clear with this as well, the podcast is called Agree to Disagree. So if there's something that we say and you don't agree with, like I said, let's agree to disagree. And we're always open for discussion and have our minds changed, but always in a nice way.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Do I think influencing is hard?
Yeah.
Honestly, no. I don't
Yeah.
think influencing itself is a very hard job. I think it's like the dream job, realistically. You
Yeah.
get to work your own hours. You use social media. People use social media without even having it as a job. Do you know what I mean? Everyone uses, you get to make money of something that people just use anyways.
Yeah.
But I do think it is harder than some people think. People think, oh, influencing is easy.
Yeah.
And I also think when something is hard, it very much depends on what that person's experienced.
Yeah.
Somebody can find something hard and someone else can find something completely easy. It depends on your personality type, your management skills. Like I said, everyone is different. And what's hard for one person may be extremely easy for another one.
Yeah, so I feel like with influencing, if I got asked, is influencing hard, I would say yes and no. So I used to farm, which would be, you would look at and go, it's a really, really difficult job. Where I actually I didn't find it too difficult. I found it, quite, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I found it quite easy. But the only thing with influencing, the only thing that I don't like is that, so when I worked on the farm, I went to the gym, had a run, had my dinner, met my friends. There was a real routine. With what we do, there's no routine. And that's what I think I find difficult about it. But there's no routine. Like, you don't have to, let's say, get up and be at work at this time. So finding, and that's what I found really difficult coming off of Love Island, actually trying to find a routine where I wouldn't lose my mind.
Yeah. So it's like difficult in certain ways, but it's not difficult. You can't compare being an influencer
It's
to
not
being
necessarily a
nurse. That
hard
different-
job because you put your phone out, you do a video and you post it.
The job is easy, but there are things difficult. I do think like sometimes we get in ruts because we don't have that routine. And I feel like our mental health is like,
It's really mentally draining.
Yeah.
I would say that. I would say like doing social media and being a content creator, it is quite draining. I get quite tired.
but as well, you need to take into consideration, you still work, you have a job and you do social media.
Yeah.
You don't just do the one thing. You know.
Yeah,
you
we're
get
still working out on the farm, people.
You know, you get up at 6 a.m, finish at 1, and then you come in and do your social media. And then we also, you know, produce a podcast. But yeah, it can be extremely mentally draining. But then I've had jobs that have been like, I will never be able to compare how mentally draining they were. Like for me, influencing is so much easier.
It's all like personal opinion, really, isn't it? I bet if you got 100 people and they go, is this difficult or not difficult? It depends what you find difficult.
But to be clear, I don't think the skill set you need to have is
No.
nowhere near as difficult as other jobs.
And no, 100%. We're not comparing these to other jobs.
No.
At all.
No.
We're not.
You can't.
No.
And like, seriously, like I used to work full time and do social media as well. And like, that was hard. But I always did social media because I loved it.
Yeah.
And then when the thing that you love doing.
I always find if you love something, then it's not hard.
Exactly, like for
'cause
farming.
you want to do it. Do you know what I mean?
You know,
want to do it.
someone could have a job and do what you do on the farm and hate it.
And find
like
it
we've
hard,
seen
yeah.
that with people on your farm.
As long as you love it, I'd say anything's easy as long as you love it. Because, you know, you would eat, sleep, breathe it.
Yeah. I think like for me as well, when I came off Love Island Australia, I actually went into full-time work because it was so weird for me not working. I could not deal without that structure. I love waking up. I loved going to the gym before work, and it was so fulfilling working, especially in like, say, customer service roles.
Yeah.
I loved, making people's days better. But then with social media, it's like quite lonely. So I would actually work throughout the day and then do my social media after work. So I found that difficult because I felt like I would come home and then I'd have to switch my brain on again.
Yeah.
But that wasn't actually the social media job that was difficult. That was the fact that I just could not judge when to have a break.
What do you think you'll do if you weren't doing social media and content creating?
I don't know. I've had so
Mine's
many.
pretty easy. I'll just be farming, I reckon.
Yeah. I have had so many jobs that I just don't know, and I've loved all of them and been so passionate.
Oh yeah, let's go through these because this is really, really interesting. What we'll do, you can go through your previous jobs and I'll go through mine.
Okay.
But Jessie's list is long, people.
Yeah, I've changed jobs a lot. I love all my jobs though. And like even I've said to you, Will, like I want to get another job.
Yeah, I know.
because
Jessie's coming out and then she wants to go in real estate.
Yeah, I was like, I want to be a real estate agent. But then we started the podcast, and like I'm so grateful we started the podcast because we like have to write and then kind of like
It's very
edit.
creative, which we
And then I
like.
do the YouTube, even though nobody watches our YouTube. It actually takes a long time to edit YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And then we like do all the editing of the shorts and stuff for the podcast. And like realistically, we could hire someone to do all that. But I'd like rather do it because I think there's nothing better than being busy and fulfilled.
Yeah.
But what was your first ever job?
Let me think. So when I was at school, one point in my life, I wanted to be an accountant. So I didn't actually get paid, but I did free work at an accountancy firm. I was terrible at it. I didn't enjoy it. And there I've worked at
What was
UGG.
it that you didn't like about working at the accountant firm?
I think I just didn't like being sat down in an office. Because for me, I need to be moving. I need to be ticking.
I can 100% see that with you.
And then I worked in UGG. So I was selling you slippers in your local Bicester village.
And can I say, like, working at UGG is a slay because you rocked the Uggs on Love
Yeah,
Island.
do you know what? That was a really...
UGG work with him.
That was so intense because like people go crazy for Uggs, and like we actually used to get a lot of people steal as well, go in and steal the Uggs and stuff like that.
I've been into UGG and it's manic.
Yeah.
You took me into the one you used to work in and
is.
it was crazy. People were fighting over UGG boots.
I know, it is real mad. And then I did this stuff for this recruitment company where they basically send you out to different jobs. So I've done like hospitality at Silverstone.
I personally think you would be such a good waiter.
I was fucking awesome.
I can imagine
I was
you being so good.
I was cracking jokes. Everyone was loving it. So I did that, but then also that I did loads of different jobs like that. With that, I did recruitment. I did like labouring. I did Bicester Village work. So there was like a whole different thing with that, and it was a 0-hour contract. So they'll be like, "What days do you want to work this week?"
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, which was perfect for me. And I was like, this, and this.
So was there any of those jobs that you particularly loved?
I did Fossil as well.
Fossil.
I worked at a watch shop, and then farming as well.
So when did you start working? How old were
16.
you? 16.
Yeah.
Love that.
16.
Straight
And I'd
into
say
it.
my favourite was probably in the watch shop because it didn't ever get too busy. And then like, I was a pretty good salesman.
I can imagine you being so good.
I was cheeky though. So there was this man who used to come in and bulk buy because he sold these watches abroad. So I got really pally with him. So whenever he came in, he used to just buy all the watches off of me. So when I never got commission, you didn't get commission there, but you have like weekly stats. I was always top salesman because of him, and he would spend heaps in there.
I love that. You're a good salesman. I genuinely think you would have been so good in hospitality. Like, I feel like
I would put on a show.
I can imagine.
I would put on a
You know,
show.
you put on a show when we go to restaurants, you don't even work there.
Fuck yeah. I love chilling with the waiters.
And then you went into farming. So was farming your favorite job, would you say?
Yeah,
or?
farming was definitely my favourite.
Yeah.
I still do love farming now.
I think farming comes so naturally, especially when I like started coming out on the farm with you. You were such a good farmer. You know,
I don't know about that. I don't know if my dad would agree with that either.
He would agree because when I saw you during lambing season, because what they do on the
I was
farm,
a fucking workhorse.
on the farm, they get vet students that have to complete 2 weeks of work, I think it is,
about
for their
2
uni
weeks,
course. So seeing you lead and teach other people, like the amount of knowledge you have and just the way farming is like, it's just clicks in your brain. You don't have to second guess.
I
You can
enjoy it.
easily instruct.
And I think one thing that I love about that is that I work with my dad, and I don't think a lot of people are fortunate or in that position where you can work with family. It's either and I've spoken to a lot of people about this who have worked with family. It's either like the most amazing thing or it just does not work.
Yeah, it's like my dad and my brothers and
Yeah.
my sister used to work with my dad as well. Like they just love it. It's just, I think it doesn't feel like work when you do it with your family.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what jobs have you had then? And I hope everyone's got a bit of time for this because it's gonna be a lot.
So my parents had me like really, really young. They were like 18. So growing up, I was like, I want to earn lots of money so I can have a pretty house. So literally the first thing I ever did was when I was 10 years old with my little sister, and we would make like handmade bracelets, earrings, jewelry.
How was business?
It was good because we went to the Sunday.
Business was good?
We went to the markets, and our next door neighbor, she was like a lovely elderly woman, Anne. She would take us to the markets for the day, and we actually made so much money.
How much money are we talking?
Like a couple $100 in a day.
Really?
Because,
oh my God, as a kid, you'll be rolling in it.
We made it into the newspaper and everything because they were like 10-year-old girls like with their own jewelry stands, and like it was all handmade. We did have our next door neighbor helping us. So that was my first.
Was she making them, your next door neighbor?
No, we made them.
Oh,
they were so cute, but she'd have to we couldn't just drive ourselves there.
Yeah.
Obviously, our parents helped too. So that was kind of our first little money-making stint. And I was like a saver since I was so young. I always saved my money. And then we would pick apples and sell them on the side of the road, like cherries and stuff.
Nice.
And then moving on to like proper-ish jobs, I started to become a netball umpire.
How old are you? Give me ages. How
about
old are you?
13, I would say.
Okay,
netball
cool.
one. So it's $15 cash a game, which, I do 2 or 3 of those a week, pocket in the money. And then I moved on to cherry packing.
Yeah.
So in the cherry orchards, you pack cherries. And then I did apple picking with my dad. So that was also, you got paid for how much you picked.
Yeah.
So that was really good. And then when I finally made the age where I could work a real job, because you had to be 15 years old and 9 months to have like a proper job. And I was dying to have a job. Like,
So you had to be 15 and 9 months?
that's how old, the legal age.
Really? I wonder what it is in the UK. It might be 16.
Yeah, so 15 years old and 9 months. So I had my resume ready to go.
Yeah.
I put my resume into so many places and like all the local places. But okay, when I was 15, I literally still looked like I was 11.
Yeah,
so no
Jessie
one wanted
did.
to hire me.
Jessie looked like a kid.
And do you
She
know
looked
what?
like a fucking child.
I did. So my teeth were like late bloomers. So like I had like missing teeth because I don't know why, I just hit puberty really, really late. So I literally looked so young. So no one wanted to hire me, but one place did. And it was over 45-minute drive from my house, and it was McDonald's.
Macca's!
And I wanted that job so bad. I took
you call it Macca's?
Macca's, yeah. I worked at McDonald's.
Do you eat Macca's?
Macca's,
I
yeah.
think we call it Mackies.
Yeah, so Macca's. Luckily, it wasn't in like my neighborhood, but I got bullied at school for working at McDonald's. So one of the girls said to me, my sister said only drop kicks work at McDonald's.
Bloody hell.
I was like,
Rude.
okay, and by the way, everybody, that's not true. Working at McDonald's was the funnest experience of my life.
Was it?
I honestly loved it so much. I did get embarrassed when, like,
I think I'll just eat all the food all the time.
yeah, we got half price Macca's. So I literally had McDonald's for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all half price. And I bring my family home McDonald's. I loved it. But because I didn't work in my hometown, I had to go to like another town that was quite far away.
Who drove you? Your parents?
Yeah, my parents almost spent more money on petrol driving there and picking me up because I get a 3-hour shift. I'd earn like $8 to $10.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to spend all that money, like an hour and a half drive and all the petrol.
Oh, bless.
But they did it because they were like proud of me for working hard.
Yeah, that's really, really sweet.
Yeah,
I like
even
that.
though the girls picked at me at school, I was sticking by my job. But it made me like socialize with completely different people.
Yeah.
So it got me so much more confident over the years too. And I tell you what, working at McDonald's gives you so much good customer service because the people
rude?
that you, yes.
Okay, give me, what's your rudest story you've had?
Oh my God, just honestly, absolute Karens, like just being mean for no reason. And then like going to the manager and just making up lies, being like, she has an attitude.
Really?
But then the managers could hear the conversation. They knew that like I was obviously a really polite worker. But like if like Karens didn't like you or whatever, and like people just chucking their, like making a mess, chucking their food on the floor and everything, that type of stuff. So it taught me patience, but I really loved working there. I loved it.
Have you had any arguments at McDonald's before?
I didn't, but I actually saw some other people like, okay, at McDonald's, sometimes because like all the staff was so young, I do think there was like a bit of bullying that went on.
What, from the staff?
Yeah, like the managers would be like 18, 19 years old, and then the other staff would be like 16 years old. So there was like a hierarchy.
Were you ever bullied?
No, I actually was pretty sound. I always was in the drive-through window or like making the coffees. So I was like in my own little zone. And also
speaking to all the customers.
Yeah. I used to work in that drive-through, be the little Macca's girl. But yeah, I think there was a little bit of bullying that went on, which wasn't nice to see. But I actually remember I did see a girl get really badly bullied. So one of the managers,
what do you mean?
Every shift she came onto, they would say you're doing the whole 6 hours out in dining. So out in dining is where you have to stand in the restaurant.
Oh, and clean up.
And clean the whole day.
Yeah.
And that's like, you don't do that. Like you would swap. So, for example, I'd do a few hours in the drive-through and then I'd go to the front counter and then you could go on fries.
You'll do shifts.
So you like swap around all the jobs and all the stations. And then I remember this girl and she just kept getting so frustrated and upset. And I actually said to her one day, I was like, oh, I'll swap with you. I'll go in the dining for you.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah, even though I hated dining. But then I got in trouble because they're like, oh no, she needs to stay in dining.
Oh, what meanies.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. But my Macca's day, I was thriving back then.
What else have you done?
After McDonald's, I moved on to working in a restaurant.
Okay.
That
what restaurant?
Petty Sessions. It's now closed down, but that restaurant, it's got a piece of my heart. Like that became one of my personality traits. So I worked at this restaurant for years and years and I would work like open to close, literally work there pretty much full time. But when I started to get other jobs, I would still work there on the weekends. So I worked at this job full time, hospitality, crazy. Anyone that's worked in hospitality understands like the craziness of it. I think like a lot of hospitality workers do face being understaffed, especially if it's like a family-run business, because obviously the less staff they have on, the more profit, etc. And you don't always know how many customers are going to walk through the door. So going through that was stressful. Like now I think of influencing, like influence so fucking easy compared to working in that restaurant. And then I got a job in a gym.
Okay, cool.
So I work in the gym Monday to Friday and then work in the restaurant on the weekend.
And which one was your favourite and which one was the hardest?
Hardest
And favourite?
Well, I moved on to working at the bank. The bank would have been probably one of the most challenging.
Okay.
Well, then a few years later, I actually worked at the COVID response unit, which will always be the most challenging job I've ever done, I actually think, in my life.
What? Yeah.
So working at the bank, I absolutely loved because there was lots of training and then there was lots of so I have ADHD, so I can't do one job and stay there. I'm not an office gal.
Yeah.
Hospitality was great for that. The bank was also good because every few months I could move branch, I could get a promotion, I could do lots of different roles.
So you were bringing the money in, is what you're saying.
I was working lots of jobs.
You were bringing the money in.
But the bank had really challenging things because sometimes when people were coming into a bank, it's not necessarily the most lovely thing, like having to deal with lots of deceased estates.
Right, yeah.
You know, people in financial hardship. Telling people that they can't afford a home loan.
And did they ever have a go at you?
Yeah, so it really taught me a lot of patience and resilience because when people were rude to me, I just always had to remind myself that, you know, they're going through a hard time. Yeah. They're not angry at you, they're angry at the situation.
Yeah, I understand that.
So I always just made it, you know, try to be as pleasant as possible. And I always thought if someone's going to deliver bad news to someone, I want it to be me because I know that I do feel sorry for them and I empathize with them. And sometimes I would see in the bank people just be like, they just see them as a customer. They just want their shift over. But, you know, I tried to be as accommodating as possible for the customers. But I had this lady who was like extremely horrible to me one day. A lot of older people hated seeing like a young blonde girl working and, you know, dealing with their finances. So I quite often got disrespect and they'd say, I want to speak to your manager. And I'd be like, well, actually, I'm the one in charge at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got no one else.
Have some of that.
Just speaking to her. But there was this lady and I remember she was so awful to me and I was just trying to help her because if I moved her money into a different account, she would have got so much more interest and I was just trying to help her.
Yeah.
And she was awful to me and I just was patient the whole time. And then I said, you know, I'm just trying to help you. And, you know, she was rude. Anyway, she ended up leaving. And I was like, whatever. I just felt a little bit upset that she was rude, but it wasn't anything deep. However, she actually came back in 2 days later with flowers and a box of chocolate. And she requested to see me. And I was shocked because this rude lady was so rude to me. I was like,
how? What was she saying?
Oh, she just was giving me attitude. She was like, literally calling me like a bimbo. And
that's not
she
nice.
was just like, you know, like, I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah.
And she came back into the bank with a box of chocolate and flowers. And
that's nice of her, though.
I saw her and I was like, oh my God, not this lady.
Did she apologise?
I saw her and I was like, and because someone said she wanted to see me, and I just thought in my head, I know the lady you're talking about. I can't deal with
I don't want to see you right now.
This lady being rude to me. But she actually came with a really expensive box of chocolates and flowers, and she said, I'm so sorry. She's like, you were just trying to help me. And she said, can you make the changes on my accounts? And then she sat down in the chair with me and she was like, I think I was really rude to you because the reason I was coming into the bank to change all my accounts is my husband's actually just left me for a younger woman.
Yeah.
And she said, I think I took it out on you. And she just said, thank you so much for being nice to me. And she actually broke down. She's told me about how her whole world has like come apart. I just sat and gave her a hug. And
everything's got a silver lining, hey?
Yeah,
You never
it's
know
really-
what people are going through.
Literally.
So that's why you always need to be nice.
No, that's exactly it. Like I could have been rude back to her so easily, but like, I think that lady really taught me a lesson, and like I kind of kept that in my mind with every single person I see and talk to.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what people were going through in the background, and like even this lady, she took it out of me because she wasn't, something gone wrong in her life. So I think like. I think that lady like taught me a lesson, and I think it also made me love working in customer service more because I did know that, even if people are pushing my buttons, I can hopefully make them smile a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think back to jobs like working in the bank, and then I worked in marketing for a skincare brand, and then COVID response, which was the most ultimate challenging job
because
ever.
me and Jessie have spoken about this before, and it just so you can explain because you'll explain better than me. It seems really just a sad job. It was really sad.
It was so sad. I think the pandemic was such a stressful time for so many people, and when you are almost the deliverer of bad news, and like I can't even like really talk about the things that I had to
confidential
hear
stuff
and the grief, and I worked in the radio room at the police station for a bit, and like answering. What do you call them? 999 calls over here?
Yeah, just like, I don't know, police calls.
000 calls in Australia, so the emergency calls. Yeah. And like, I remember I had a really sad
did you have to get
situation.
trained up for this?
Yes. Well, not really for the COVID response because it was such like a last minute thing. They should have been training. They really should have been.
But then I guess with COVID, you never knew that it was coming, and it was like a sense of urgency.
It was a emergency response. That's actually what the job title, like emergency response unit for COVID. There were some things that to this day, I'll never be able to let go of some of the stories and the people that called in so much hurt and pain, and we were unable to help them.
It was really, really sad time.
It was so challenging. But I do think like all those type of things have all shaped like how I am today.
Yeah.
And then somehow I winded up doing social media and personal training. I was a personal trainer too.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
So as you can probably tell, Jessie has done a fucking heap of different jobs.
But I do think it like all kind of like shapes you. And then like with social media today, I do think like there's a lot of people that want to be social media influencers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest influencers in my life have not been on social media.
Yeah.
They've been in those workforces, and I think those are kind of the real like idols and the people that should be the real influencers of the world.
So what are your thoughts? Because I think now you can actually go to uni to get a degree in influencing. I don't exactly know how it works, and it's always a concept that's a bit confusing to me. But you can go to uni and study for 3 years to be an influencer.
Yeah. See, I think that's
Would that be from like the marketing point of view?
I do feel like that's the new title for marketing. See, I got a job in marketing.
No. It's a degree of how you can become an influencer.
Do you think influencing is like luck?
I think it's a different things. You have to be likable, I think, because you have to have people you've said it before. So there's like 3 different things. You either have to be educational, entertainer, or funny. Or attractive.
And then attractive.
Or attractive. That's like some of the things why people will follow you.
So
you have to engage your audience. Like when someone watches you, they've got to get some sense of, they've got to get something out of it.
Yeah, so people don't just, I guess there is like a lot of brain rot content though, but I guess that brain rot content comes into like entertainment.
Yeah.
But
then, like, when I go back, when I started on TikTok, there was me and this other farmer, and we went to school with each other, and we did near enough, like, the same content, very similar content, farming content, sounds of animals and things like that. I went viral, and he didn't, but there was, like, the content wasn't, like, I was doing something drastically different to he. So then I'm like, did I just get a little bit lucky and got a video pushed out?
In a way, I do think, like, the viralness, it's somewhat luck, but I also think there's a reason people came back to look again.
Yeah. What is the algorithm, by the way? What is all of this jazz?
I don't know what the algorithm stuff is. Do you know, I just post stuff because I like it. I'm like, do you know what? Even if people don't watch this, when I'm like an old lady, I will be like back in my TikTok like, yeah, look what I did.
Well, do you know what? I've got a theory. I actually think influencers or people on social media are going to get taken over by AI.
See, that just scares me.
I feel like we're going to be living in a world where movies won't be done by actors. It will all be AI. But they will look like real people.
I don't want that.
Same with social media. This is only just a theory. This is like a concept that I have.
I've seen heaps of articles and stuff about this.
Yeah, it might not necessarily happen. However, I feel like your people that you look up to will be AI and it won't be real people.
Who were we with when we were discussing about the people that do the AI Snapchat? Was that at the TikTok Awards?
Italian Batch and Alpha TV.
Yeah, Italian Batch and Alpha TV. We're talking about.
Oh my God, yeah. They basically, I don't know what app it is, but you can go on this app and you can have a conversation with whoever you want to, like on the public eye on social media. And Batch basically said that he typed in Alpha TV and spoke, and it was like his voice speaking back.
And it was all AI,
and
so it wasn't actually Alpha TV.
It was really, really weird.
There needs to be some sort of regulation about this because I feel like people can't use your voice.
You can actually have a conversation with these people. Like I can have a full-on conversation. Like you can almost, which is the scariest thing, is like falling in love with this AI concept. Like you can say good morning, you can tell them all your problems and they'll give you responses. You can say like, I love you, good night, and it could go, I love you back. It's a really sketchy process.
See, I kind of find this scary.
I find it terrifying.
I think like with us, especially like what we
I feel like
experience,
AI has taken over the world.
we need like human connection. It's so important.
Yeah.
And it just kind of scares me that people can opt to AI.
Everything's AI,
I'm pretty sure they even have AI like OnlyFans stars.
Really?
Yeah, and Snapchat people. So there are like Snapchat accounts where they're just, it's not a real person. And for Instagram
So
accounts,
who's got the...
I don't know.
I bet they're making bank.
I don't know. But like even like with, someone was actually talking about it the other day, like do we reckon like, you know, pornography and OnlyFans will revert to AI? But I'm like, if people think that they're talking to something that's not real,
Yeah.
they're not going to respect it. And even though it's AI, it's still technically what they think is a woman. And if you're disrespecting AI, even though it's not a real person, when you disrespect and you get in the habit of disrespecting, that disrespect can then be taken into their real life and then disrespecting women, if that makes sense.
It's a really, really scary concept.
I really, really hope that, especially with the actors, I do not want to see AI actors. I think it's so incredible when you see someone be just so talented in acting. Like when I watch a movie, I'm not even watching the movie. I'm like studying the actor and I'm like, oh my God, that's such a talent.
Do you want to be an influencer forever?
I don't know. Well, like the goal was never to actually be an influencer. And like I've said to you, I'd love to go like to work, back to like a day job.
Yeah.
And if I probably didn't stay as like a social media influencer, I would also love like to produce other people's podcasts or like kind of keep in that creative space, but it doesn't all necessarily have to be for me.
Yeah, no, I completely do get that. I would love to be in a position where we can talk about this a little bit, like the money that comes in because of influencing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be reliant on money because a lot of people, you rely on job deals which aren't guaranteed.
Oh, yeah, that's probably one of like, honestly, the financial reward you get for influencing is quite good. I cannot lie.
Yeah.
It's
What's your biggest deal you've got?
I'm not saying that on here.
Wherever tribe people, I'm out there for the people trying to get you the tea from Jessie.
But some people would be like, and I've had lots of discussions with influencers because influencers do often like, you know, talk about work and whatnot. And people be like, oh, that brand didn't pay well. But I'm just like,
man, I'll take $10.
yeah, I like their clothes are good. I used to go and slog my ass off at work. I would work hours and hours, jobs on jobs, like, you know what I mean? Working like stupid, ridiculous hours. And I make like 2 times that from social media videos. Like that just blows my mind.
Yeah, it is crazy. It was actually quite funny. So when I first got into this, my dad and granddad basically, so the first time I got paid off of social media was before I went into the villa because I did like TikTok and Instagram before. And I think I did 3 TikTok videos for £75 in total. So 3 videos for 75 quid. And it was for this girl who basically just wrote a new song. And I didn't have management, I was just doing it on my own. And I just had to do 3 videos with the sound. And they banged. Like they all got like 30, 40K plus likes in the video. And
That was worth
but
so
I
much
was
more.
like, cha-ching. I was like, are you absolutely joking? Like I'm working on the farm with my old man. But yeah, but I thought, oh my God, this is like the best thing in the world. And I did that a couple of times. And then my dad like sat me down and he was like, send them the money back. He was like, you're going to get in trouble. They're going to ask for the money back. Like you're going to get, and I had this conversation loader. I was like, no, it's actually like a real thing. You can earn money off of social media.
When I came off Love Island Australia and I had like followers and stuff, I didn't make money for like the first 3 months because I didn't have a manager and I didn't know you got paid. I didn't know you got paid for doing a fucking post. I just wanted the free hair straightener.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
this is
fucking
awesome.
right on you then.
I was like, yeah. I literally did none of like the promotions for months and months. I did like appearances and stuff.
Yeah.
And got paid for that. But I did not do any like posts and then when I was like, what the fuck? Like I'm getting paid to post Instagram photos.
Yeah.
That like blew my mind. Like that was a dream come true.
I would say I'm more content creating. Like I create content to enjoy because I don't think my content is like, oh, come get ready with me. This is what I'm using.
Your plan isn't to influence people.
No, it's to put a smile on people's face.
Yeah, like people don't come to our profile to be like, you know, I don't think people look at me and be like, what products does Jessie use? Like
I had a meal on TikTok before going into the villa and it was just pure farming videos. It was purely educational and entertainment. Never once did I go, you know, this is what I'm wearing, this is what I'm doing, do you know what I mean? So I would say I was someone with followers rather than influencing people.
100%. No, I do understand that.
Because you could have someone with 10,000 followers and have who has a greater influence, who influences those 10,000 people than someone with like 10 million followers who they don't influence anyone. It's just a different sort of content.
Well, I think partly like the reason we like to do TikToks, well, I always say this
it's fun, it's good memories.
Yeah, I always say about YouTube, I have YouTube vlogs that I've got hidden on my account, but they are from like years ago, like when we found out that my mum was pregnant with Stella and just all these memories. I love to do it as like a hobby for me.
Yeah.
And like when Will sits and plays video games, I stay up to like 2 a.m. editing like YouTube videos and whatnot. Like it's good to like have that for you. But it is like really weird. And I do like, before coming into this world and before getting management, I didn't understand how it worked. And it is really, really mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like how it does work.
It's crazy. It's really, really weird.
Yeah, there's like some misconceptions and people do say like, how do influencers earn money or content creators, how do they earn money?
Yeah.
So pretty much how someone earns money on social media is in the UK, you guys have the creator fund on TikTok.
So yeah, there's different things. So you can actually get paid to post from Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, I think, are the three main apps. So basically for TikTok, anything over a minute long, you get paid for. You get an RPM. It's nothing crazy. I think mine was, I don't really do it anymore, but when I was doing it, I think I was on 40 to 50p per 1,000 views, but it wasn't per 1,000 views, it's per 1,000 watched views. So if your video got 1 million views, you could only get 400,000 people actually watching it. So you would get 450p, for I don't know what the math is.
But if you were someone like, say, Alex Earl in the US, who's like mega viral, doing her Get Readies with Me, those people could be making loads.
Bang.
We actually don't have the creator fund in Australia.
No.
So Australian TikTokers do not rely on the creator fund whatsoever. No. I feel like having the creator fund could be nice though.
It doesn't matter on followers because you could be going viral and it's all about views. It's nothing about
so pretty much Will has the creator fund and I don't.
Yeah.
Like you have like, if you post videos on TikTok, you know you're going to get...
because Jessie was being stubborn. She was like, I'm not doing videos over a minute now.
No, I'm not. Because I don't... Well, like seeing you get paid because you're a UK account and I'm an Australian account, I'm like,
Yeah.
But like, obviously it's incredible that you get paid to make those videos because some people do put a lot of time and a lot of effort into their videos. But if you're not getting paid off monetization and from like a creator fund, the other option and the only pretty other option is for brand deals.
Like sponsorships, yeah, brands.
So people do comment like on the videos, be like, you know, you're a cop-out, you're a sellout because you're doing brand deals. But it's like...
Babe, we got to pay the bills, man. You gotta make something.
But like we like all the brands we work with, but...
They align with us.
They do. So like, say for example, we've worked with like cleaning brands and whatnot. That's where our actual income comes from. So if we don't have brand deals going up on our TikTok or our Instagram, we're literally, I'm not making any money.
So Snapchat, the more you post, the more you get paid.
Yeah.
So it's done. You get an ad every 8 seconds. I think it is in your Snapchat stories.
I genuinely just like using Snapchat though. I've always used Snapchat.
Jessie is a snappy girl.
I have like such a high snap score and like Will and I have like a 600-day snap score.
Yeah.
Snap streak.
Yeah.
Do you know me and my sister used to have like we were in the top 10 highest snap streaks of the world. But then I went, I think, on Love Island and when it had to get ruined.
Yeah, you should have really given someone your account to carry that going.
No, I tried to, but it was just too much responsibility, I think. And the snap streak died.
And then with YouTube, it's the exact same, paid via ads.
Apparently YouTube pays the best, but like I've said many times, nobody watches our YouTube videos, so we don't really get any money off YouTube, but that is okay because like I said, I do that all for the memories, which I absolutely love.
I'm just a dude online having a good time.
Yeah, we're just like
We're
just living our life and taking you along with us.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just a dude online having a good time. That's a little rhyme. What's happening to me? We're just having a podcast, sat on the sofa, having a chill time.
I like doing the podcast because I love all the behind the scenes, like the creative stuff, like, you know, like I said before, editing like the shorts and I just like the routine we're in, and I like having these opportunities.
Yeah, it is really, really nice. Well, I would say one of the best things influencers has done. Obviously, me and Jessie, we're not very extravagant. I do like shiny things, but I'm not that bad. I don't spend that much money. Jessie's as tight as they come when it comes to money. I kid you fucking not. You'll never. But she's getting better now because I kept going.
You know, I never grew out of, because I like grew up with no money.
Yeah.
I've never even, you know, if I have money, it feels like I have to save it. Otherwise, I'm gonna be poor.
But what people don't understand, like especially in our case, like we do get a lot of comments going like, "Oh, you're always on holiday. You're always doing this. You're always blah blah blah." But what I don't think what people do know and understand is that like behind the scenes, a lot of the money that we're making is just going back into the farm.
And when we do holidays and stuff, we try to do it as budget as we can.
It is on a budget.
I'm just a natural budgeter. I'm so bad for it. I will admit. Like anyone that knows me knows that I am a fucking tight ass.
But we're going to be poor next year. We're actually going to have no money, zero in the bank account. Back to straight one.
But this is like...
Well, not you, not Jessie, because Jessie's richer than me. It's true.
Oh my God. But one of the things is, like, influencing, we have to say, we are so grateful for it. But 100%. It's given us the flexibility to be able to put that back into the farm.
We're buying a farm next year. Without posting on social media and earning money and different things like that, I would have never, ever in a million years been able to afford it. We don't
actually know if we're going to be able to afford it, but we are saving our little asses off.
I will go into debt to do this.
Yeah.
I would. It's always been a dream. I had a dream. I have a dream of guys going
And social media has kind of been able to help us with that dream so much. And like even we're planning to fly my grandma over next year. Like I'd never imagine we'd be in a position to do that. And like, you know.
I love the things now I can do for my family and your family and different people around us. I think that's been one of the highlights for me.
I know, and we'll keep working so that we can like achieve our goals. Like if we can't buy the farm, like that's obviously going to be devastating.
I'm going into debt. I will go into debt to make that happen.
But we do want to say, like, as much as we love like our jobs and everything, literally everyone listening here, we really appreciate.
We appreciate you, fam.
You know, I know we're not like a viral podcast or anything, but like we really put a lot of heart and soul in every single person that leaves a comment, clicks the like button, clicks download. Like you don't understand how appreciative we are because like we really believe this can be something so great. Yeah. And then we kind of, anybody here that's literally listened to this, like we're just so beyond grateful.
Yeah.
And every single time I look at a comment, I like, my heart like melts, but I almost get too shy to comment back to all of them. But we do read like all the lovely comments and like we just cannot express how grateful we are. Okay,
so we've got our debacle, dilemmas and disasters for you.
I love my job, but I've recently got a new manager and I feel like she genuinely hates me. I absolutely love my job, but she's been making it hell. I want to report her, but then I'm scared she'll treat me even worse. I'm thinking about quitting, but I feel like I'm letting myself down by quitting the job I love so much. What should I do?
I wouldn't quit. Don't quit. If you love the job, don't quit. I always believe, I'm a strong believer in life. And I always think this, and I always used to say this when I was on Peanuts, when I was working for my dad, with people like, are you rich or anything? And I would always go, I'm rich in happiness. Yeah. Because I feel like money can't buy happiness. You can't get that sense of enjoyment. And if you love something you do, don't. Why try and fix something that's not broken? If you love doing your job, you stick in that and you bring it to the bitch of a bus.
But I have worked in like workplaces where like I've seen top manager bullying some person. So there was a girl, I'm actually really good friends with her now, but like she was bullied so much. She worked this job for 10 years of her life. Yeah. She loved it. And I loved working beside her and everything, but she got bullied so much she ended up quitting.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it's like, I feel like in this situation, if for some reason you feel like you can't continue working there, another door will open. Like everything kind of happens for a reason.
Everything does happen. But bullying now in the workplace is not taken lightly.
No, it shouldn't. I don't think you should fear telling on her.
And
Telling on her, is that the right word?
Yeah, and I don't feel like you should ever feel like your boss is more important than you.
No, yeah. Everybody's got rights. And like, she's probably bullying other people. So if you actually do report her, if she treats you worse after you report her as well, that's when I'd leave the company. If the company wasn't doing anything about her bullying.
I think you could sue for that.
So if you escalated it and no one took that seriously, I would actually leave the company because I am just like, sorry, you can't deal with
And then
bullying.
get on social media and fucking do a video about him.
But we do wish you the best of luck with that one. And like I said, if you do feel like you need to quit the job, remember, when one door closes, another door opens. So life is going to pave its way for you.
Sliding door theory, as we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, leaving the job will create you and put you on a better path for your future.
Now we're going to move on to our quick fire agree to disagree questions. So the first one is, being an influencer is hard. I'm just going to have to go with disagree.
Yes and no. I still think it's a yes and no. I think some people can say it's hard and some people would say it's easy.
Yeah.
I personally would say it's pretty easy.
It's pretty easy and it's the dream job, realistic.
Yeah.
We get to live such a cool lifestyle and do so many things.
Agreed.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you could sit there and debate that for so long and everyone would have a different look on it. But I think in hindsight, it is just an easy job.
And we're not saying it's hard in comparisons to any other jobs.
No.
There are a lot of other jobs which are, if you're comparing them, for example.
It's harder than people think.
Yeah, harder than people think, but not as hard as most other jobs.
No. Yeah.
Nah, it's easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Easy in comparison, yeah.
Film a video, post it, happy days. Okay, number 2, AI is going to take over the world.
I hope not.
I agree.
I like praying. Can we please rebel against this? I really
Robots are going to come in and they're going to go against their masters, which are humans, and there's going to be a war with AI.
Can we not have that?
Well, it's in the process.
No, we're not having
We
a war
have
with
AI
them.
robots.
There's been too many movies that I've seen where the robots rebel.
iRobot.
Yeah, this scares me. I feel like, guys, can we just rely on humans?
Yeah, can we just
and,
chill out? Why do we need to make robots? I don't
I
understand.
feel like robots, the Tesla robots are kind of cool.
Oh my God, when do you
But-
think there is going to be a war where they send robots?
Will, please. The AI stuff scares me, how they can make fakes and
I
use
think
your
they
voices.
would do that.
But
they would do AI
I did
for
see
everything.
a Tesla robot that cleaned the house. That's
Yeah, you're
fine,
going to come
aren't they?
through your Mackie drive-through, look, and it's going to be, what can I take your order,
No,
please?
don't take my old job.
Yeah, they will. You'll see it.
Influencing isn't a real job.
I disagree.
Disagree with that, yeah.
Because I feel like a job is where you earn money, and you earn money from influence, and therefore it is a real job.
I do think influencing it 100% is a real job. It's a new form of marketing. People used to put advertisements on television,
adverts, yeah.
billboards. You see radio hosts,
I
television.
think 10 years ago, no,
No.
probably wasn't heard of.
But now it's
but
kind of the way forward.
Now it's like the norm, isn't it? You do. How many ads? I don't watch live TV anymore, so you're not actually going to do that. So I actually did a campaign with Head and Shoulders, and where they normally do a TV ad, they put that budget into people and put that online rather than putting it in a TV ad.
Well, back in the day, say a clothing brand, they would hire a studio, they would pay for models, they would pay for a photographer. Now they just send the clothes out and pay the influencer to do everything.
Yeah.
Whilst I do think it is a real job, I do think there's lots of different degrees and scales of influencers. I think there are people that just do content creation on TikTok, Instagram, and then you've got people that do media as well.
Yeah.
Perhaps reality TV people who do the social media, and then they actually do press, media interviews, events.
Agreed.
And then I think there are people that kind of just do bloody everything. You got TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat. They're just doing everything here and
Mario,
there.
all-rounded.
Yeah. So definitely there's lots of different variations of it.
And lastly, you should climb the ladder in your workplace.
If you want to do that, you do that. But you don't have to.
Yeah, I'll disagree. I'd feel like do what your heart wants you to do. Do you know what I mean? Do what you love.
When I worked at the bank, I was so dedicated to that job. I thought I was going to be there forever. And at times I was very miserable. There were things about that job that just perhaps didn't suit me. And I wasn't enjoying my life. It was consuming me. My boss even said to me, Jessie, you need to learn how to work to live. You can't live to work. And my boss actually had to tell me that because I was just everything at work,
Yeah.
I would not be able to shut off.
And I feel like with life is made to experiment, even if it's not your dream thing or whatever you're going to do when you're older. Like, I think you'd have a lot more fulfilling life trying different things and failing, because then it will build you and make you a better person.
Well, I had so much fear to leave the job that I worked so hard for.
Mm.
And then I spontaneously quit that and then just become a personal trainer, which was just so weird.
Yeah.
But that job I absolutely loved, the next job.
Yeah.
So like, like I said before, one deal closes, another opens. Like, as long as that sun is still shining, you'll find a way to make it work. So if you want to climb the corporate ladder, you do that. If
Do
you don't,
whatever you want to do, people. Don't let anyone tell you different. Do what your heart desires.
yes. Well, I think that is a wrap for the pod today.
That is a wrap, people. Thanks so much for listening all of the way. We love you so much. And if you are watching on Spotify, remember, give us 5 stars, a thumbs up, download that shit onto your phone, onto whatever you're listening on.
And because we had like a little bit of a few heartfelt moments, I do just want to say like a huge thank you. I'm feeling very grateful today, very lovey. So thank you guys. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.